We had another incredible week of AI tech news. Let's get right into our first story. In the clearest sign that the AI apocalypse is upon us, AI is now significantly better at solving captchas than humans. Captchas are those annoying things you have to do when registering for many websites, such as choosing all the bicycles in a set of pictures or sliding the puzzle piece to fit. It turns out not only did those not work against modern AI, humans are actually significantly slower and less accurate. Check out these numbers. On the left, we have the accuracy and time of humans against different types of captchas. And on the right, we have it for bots. Look at the significantly better performance of bots. Elon Musk, owner of X.com, formerly Twitter, deals with a lot of bots on his platform. And according to him, the only way to prevent bots at scale is subscriptions, which means taking a credit card. And this has been my experience with my previous companies. The only way to stop a spammer is to make it economically infeasible to spam. Next, in one of the most disappointing but probably wholly predictable stories, LK-99, the much hyped, potentially superconductive material, was all but disproven this week. If you missed it, which would be surprising since the story was absolutely everywhere, a team out of South Korea published a paper claiming to have created a material that was superconductive at room temperatures. This would have been the holy grail of energy transfer. But a story from nature.com has more or less settled the debate. The first red flag was in the original video, which shows what the article is calling half-baked levitation. In the video, the edge of the sample seemed to stick to the magnet, and it seemed delicately balanced at best. By contrast, superconductors that levitate over magnets can be spun and even held upside down. Another signal of superconductivity is a huge drop in resistivity, but for the material that they created, it turns out the temperature needed to achieve that drop is the same temperature in which the material they used undergoes a phase transition, which has the same property of resistivity drop. All of that aside, even though I'm disappointed, watching the entire world rally behind this science with nothing but positive feelings towards it was incredible. Hopefully, this will prompt more people to be interested in material sciences. Next, a new human-like robot was released by a company called Unitree. I've never heard of Unitree, but looking at their lineup of robots, they look incredibly similar to Boston Dynamics robots, but at a much lower price point. And that's what makes this new humanoid robot stand out. It can be purchased for just $90,000. And for comparison, the dog-like Spot robot from Boston Dynamics is $75,000. And compared to Unitree's version of the dog robot, it's only $1,600. I don't quite understand how they were able to get the price down so much, but in a reply on X, they said it's because they developed their own in-house LiDAR. But there's still a significant amount of technology in each robot, so I don't think that would be as much of a price reduction as compared to Spot. At $1,600, you could have two dog-like robots for the cost of one Apple VR headset. Our next story is about OpenAI. Just this week, they acquired a company called Global Illumination, a maker of an open source game creator that looks like Minecraft. The New York-based company was founded just 2 years ago, and the acquisition announcement said they will be working on core products at OpenAI. I can think of 100 reasons why OpenAI would want game building technology, but honestly, this seems much more like an acqui-hire than anything else. What do you think? Is OpenAI getting into video games? The worlds of video games and AI are coming crashing together right now, so I really wouldn't be surprised. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Speaking of OpenAI and spending money, there were multiple reports this week that OpenAI's financial situation is weak. It was reported that they are burning cash quickly, spending $700,000 a day just to keep ChatGPT running, and that's not including the other products like GPT-4 and DALL-E. And the only reason they're staying afloat is because of the $10 billion investment from Microsoft. Although many view this as their clear fall towards bankruptcy, I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. Not only do they have an incredibly popular product and are improving the monetization on it every single day, but Microsoft will not let their investment die. Sam Altman and the rest of the OpenAI team are just way too smart to just glide into bankruptcy. Plus, the fact that they're making acquisitions signals that they are bullish on their financial position. Our next story really shows the promise of AI to help the world, starting with health. First, Microsoft says GPT-4 is good enough for medical tasks. An article from the Decoder states, as an example, Microsoft cites the faster development of cancer drugs where many clinical trials would have been abandoned due to insufficient recruitment. Billions of dollars would have been wasted in lengthy processes. And even though GPT-4 was not specifically trained on medical data, it was able to structure complex clinical studies according to specific criteria. They also believe GPT-4 could achieve expert-level performance on medical question and answer datasets. And not to be outdone, the open source community released Dr. GPT, a model specifically trained on medical datasets. Dr. GPT is a large language model that can pass the US medical licensing exam and is based on the Llama 2 7B model. Let's think about that for a moment. An AI that can fit on most devices without needing the internet, without needing a beefy GPU, that can pass the medical licensing exam. Absolutely incredible. The potential of this technology is enormous. In theory, all of this should increase the quality and decrease the cost of medical treatments. And for all the jokes I make about AI taking over the world, it's these types of breakthroughs that lead me to believe AI is going to have a huge positive impact on the world. Next, StabilityAI, the company behind Stable Diffusion, has released a new open source large language model called Stable Coder, specifically trained to be an AI coding assistant. Stable Coder was developed to be directly integrated into developer tools like Visual Studio Code, and it's a tiny model, coming in at just 3 billion parameters. It also has a context window of up to 16,000 tokens, which makes it even easier for it to write large segments of your code. I'm a huge fan of all of these coding assistants and fine-tuned models for coding, because anything that makes developers more productive and efficient is a good thing in my mind. Do you want me to test and review Stable Coder? Let me know in the comments. Next is another story about OpenAI. Just this week, they released content moderation tools based on their cutting-edge large language models. This is a huge win for any websites that have user-generated content because OpenAI's content moderation models are the best out there. Not only that, it's super easy to implement. First, a policy guideline is written by a company, and then policy experts can create a golden set of data by identifying a small number of examples and assigning them labels. Then, incredibly, GPT-4 actually just reads the policy and assigns labels to that same data set without seeing the answers first. By examining the discrepancies between GPT-4's judgments and those of the humans, the policy experts can ask GPT-4 to come up with reasoning behind its labels, analyze the ambiguity in the policy definitions, resolve confusion, and provide further clarification in the policy accordingly. So basically, repeating this process until content moderation is performing well. This is a big win for any content moderation team across the entire internet. Next, the Department of Defense has established a generative AI task force. According to a press release from the DoD, this task force is an initiative that reflects the DoD's commitment to harnessing the power of artificial intelligence in a responsible and strategic manner. This task force will also be responsible for integrating AI tools across the Department of Defense. And of course, whenever you're talking about defense, there's both the opportunity to use AI for defensive purposes, but also offensive purposes. This seems like the group that's going to be responsible for all potential uses of AI. Microsoft this week announced Microsoft Azure ChatGPT, allowing enterprises to run ChatGPT within their network. Likely feeling the pressure from open source large language models and the ability to run those models completely securely and privately, Azure ChatGPT promises to be private, controlled, and easy to deploy. If a company is already using Azure Cloud, it'll be very easy to deploy Azure ChatGPT within the same security definitions as are already approved and in place by that organization. This is a smart move by Microsoft and OpenAI to start to quell concerns about sending ChatGPT private company data. A bunch of companies have reached out to me already with those same concerns and wanting to implement and deploy open source large language models. Next, Runway, the company behind incredible text-to-AI video product Gen 2, has increased the length of their clips to 18 seconds. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, great, 18 seconds, that's not very cool. But if you actually look at these videos and think about where we came from just a few months ago, it's pretty incredible to think that just recently we were at 2 seconds of video. Take a look at this example.
Start by opening Gen 2 and creating a video with the text prompt, text plus image, or just an image. Once your video is done generating, you will see an extend button, which will allow you to extend the video by another 4 seconds. And you can repeat this process 3 times for a total of 16 seconds. Each time you click extend, the video output will look different, so try a few extensions to get different results each time.
And speaking of AI video, it's time for our AI video of the week. This video was suggested by Gingerbot5000 and posted on Instagram by Fugitive. So thank you to them for a great video suggestion. Let's take a look at it. This looks like it was likely made with Warp Fusion, which I did a video tutorial for a little while ago. So if you want to try to make a video just like this, you probably can. Check out the video. I'll link it in the description below. If you want to submit your own video for the AI video of the week, hop in my Discord and there's a channel called AI Video of the Week just for this. So thanks again to GingerBot5000. I love saying that name. Next, in the world of AI music, it seems major music labels are not making the same mistakes they did last time a new technology threatened their legacy business model. In an article from The Guardian, it was reported that Google and Universal Music are working on licensing voices for AI-generated songs. Early stage talks are expected to include a potential tool fans could use to make AI-generated songs. I'm happy to see music labels taking a proactive approach to adopting new technology rather than trying to sue it into oblivion. And of course, artists would need to opt in to have their voices used with this technology, so the artist's work are protected. This follows a story from earlier this year where a song featuring AI-generated vocals of Drake and The Weeknd, hosted by a TikTok user, was pulled from streaming platforms by Universal Music Group for infringing content with generative AI. I believe AI-generated music is going to be a huge genre and will open up creativity for anyone to take advantage of. The outcome will likely be a large volume of very low quality songs, but there's going to be a few that are incredible and might make the entire technology worthwhile. This week, 2 new open source AI autonomous agents projects were released. First, the paper that started it all, Generative Agents, Interactive Simulacra of Human Behavior, out of Stanford. This paper showed that when running a simulation with autonomous AI agents, they start to exhibit human-like behavior, including planning, forming habits, personalities, and building relationships. And now they released the code that powered their system. I made a tutorial video already for how to get their code up and running, so definitely check it out. Then, inspired by the work from this paper, A16Z, the premier venture capital firm in Silicon Valley, released their own version of an AI simulation. I also plan on making a video about this. I believe AI simulations have incredible potential in many areas, but especially in video games. Imagine your favorite video games from Grand Theft Auto to Skyrim having NPCs that actually live full lives, even when you're not interacting with them. This truly can change how video games work forever. Next are 2 stories about Google AI. It looks like AI features are coming directly to Google search. Features such as seeing definitions of words just by hovering to summarizing websites before actually visiting them. The outcome is much more efficient search. However, I don't think content owners are going to be very happy about this, as Google search with AI makes it much less necessary to click through to a website, which means less traffic and less revenue for the website owners. This is similar to what YouTube is implementing with AI to summarize YouTube videos. AI creators and content owners seem to be heading towards a fight, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Google is also looking to incorporate AI features directly into ChromeOS. Google intends to bring AI writing and editing tools directly into the Chrome operating system. Right now, this is a confidential product and will ship with 3 main pieces of functionality: rewriting text, preset prompts to be used, and inserting new text, which allows users to have AI continue writing in their own style. Our last story today is about AI safety. In an article from AP News, it was reported to not expect quick fixes in red teaming of AI models. Security was an afterthought. White House officials are worried that AI chatbots are progressing so quickly that AI companies aren't taking the time to properly vet their safety. Competition in the AI market is beyond fierce, so companies are forced to cut corners and rush products to market before they are fully analyzed for safety. According to the article, the main reason for concern is conventional software uses well-defined code to issue explicit step-by-step instructions. OpenAI's ChatGPT, Google's Bard, and other language models are different. Trained largely by ingesting and classifying billions of data points in internet crawls, they are perpetual works in progress, an unsettling prospect given their transformative potential for humanity. Given previous stories I've covered, it is incredibly easy to poison a large language model simply by changing a fraction of a percentage of its data. Security and safety concerns are real and should be taken seriously. Leading AI companies are investing tons into security and safety, but do you think it's enough? Let me know. If you liked this video, please consider giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.